Hello, words you need advanced, lesson 15. In this lesson, I've got some more obscure, malizviestny, vocabulary for you and some less obscure vocabulary. But I'll explain why the less obscure vocabulary is at the end of the course a little later. For now, let's get on with the lesson. Number 701. Было достигнуто соглашение об отмене платы за роуминг в ЕС. An agreement was reached to abolish roaming charges in the EU. Отмена, abolish. Now, let's look at some other abolish phrases to get an idea of when this word is used. We need to put it in brackets so that we get all the forms of the verb. We need to add a noun, and let's have 3 before and 3 after and see what we get. So, slavery. Slavery was abolished. The death penalty was abolished. The wealth tax was abolished. So, as you can see, abolished seems to be something legal, because in all these cases, slavery, death penalty, taxes, laws, they are about legally cancelling something. So, отменить, of course, it can be cancel. I'm sure you're very familiar with the word cancel, but it's also abolish when we're talking about the legal cancellation of something. Next one. Он говорил серьезно. He spoke with gravity. You probably know that gravity is the thing that makes things fall, the force that makes things fall to the ground. But gravity comes from the adjective grave. Now, let's put in grave as an adjective. Grave dot J. That makes grave an adjective. And then we'll look at words that come immediately afterwards. We are in grave danger. Or there is a grave threat. It was a grave mistake, which had grave consequences. So what does grave mean in all these contexts? It means serious. So grave is sometimes like a synonym for serious. And we also quite often use the word gravely. So gravely would have to come before an adjective. Gravely. So you can be gravely ill, seriously ill. Gravely concerned, gravely immoral. So gravely means seriously. Grave, serious. Gravity, говорил серьезно, with gravity, seriousness. The next one. Их прибытие неминуемо. Not a word that I use in Russian. Their arrival is imminent. So, imminent. What else can be? Imminent. Imminent is an adjective. We need to see what nouns are often used around imminent. I guess we're going to see lots of words for events. The threat is imminent. So, угроза, I guess it's неминуемо. It could happen at any moment. It's imminent. We are not in imminent danger. So, we're not in danger right now, at this moment. Imminent. So, imminent. The next one. У него есть несколько новых идей. Of course, you can say new ideas, but here I want to use the word novel. He has some novel ideas. As this is an advanced lesson, you probably know that a novel means a roman, a book. a work of fiction is a novel, but the adjective novel means new. And probably more often than we use the adjective novel, we use the noun novelty. Novelty. Well, it's quite a novelty. It's something new for us. It's a novelty for me. Means it's new and also positive. It has positive connotations. And in fact, novel has these positive connotations. So it's like new and good. Because obviously something can be new and not very good. So if I say it's novel, then it's a positive thing. And I hope that will be clear from the collocations. Let's have a look what we get. A novel idea, a novel approach, a novel way of doing things, a novel concept, a novel story. You get the idea. New and interesting. Novel. The next one. На митинге присутствовали тысячи людей. So we're talking about the word meeting here. It's not a meeting, surprisingly. A meeting is, it's not for hundreds or thousands of people. A meeting is собрание. Thousands of people attended the rally. Rally. Now, rally is an interesting word because we can use it to mean meeting. But we can also have a rally can be a car race. A rally can be in a racket sport like tennis, when you hit it backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. That is a rally. Rally is also a verb. Сторонники президента сплотились вокруг него. The president's supporters rallied around him. But maybe you're always like supporting something. So at a meeting, at a rally, people are supporting something, like keeping it in the air. In tennis, you keep the ball in the air, you hold it up. If the supporters rallied round him, they continued to support him, hold him up. So I think rallying is something to do with holding something, supporting something. I may be wrong, but it's quite an unusual word. Right, let's look at the next one. Это не выходит за рамки возможного. This is a fixed expression. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. So, a realm. Queen Victoria's realm spread across the entire world. So, realm, in a physical sense, is the area governed by a king or a queen. But we also have this fixed expression, realms of possibility. I don't think we have any other words that are used very often near realms, but I'll have a look. If I do realm like that, we'll see what comes up. As you can see, possibilities, the top one, but you can also have the realms of science. За рамки наука, I guess. It's not beyond the realms of science, like science has a chance of understanding it. If science has no chance of understanding it, it's beyond the realms of science. You can also talk about the realms of experience, perhaps the realms of politics, because realm, it's also for just like Queen Victoria governs a realm, positivity also has its realm which it governs, and science has its realm, and politics has its realm which it governs. So interesting word, realm. Try to use it. The next one. У моего брата было Try again. У моего брата было религиозное образование, а у меня светское. My brother had a religious education and I had a secular one. So I don't think secular and svetskaya are exactly the same, because my impression is like svetskaya dama. In Russian, it has a connotation of being very much of the world, like not of the church, of the world, and then doing all the things which the world does and the church does not do. That's svetskaya in Russian. You know, like, I don't know, wearing a lot of makeup, dressing up, drinking. It's perhaps worldly, a worldly woman, not a religious woman. So maybe svetskaya dama is a worldly woman. But secular, it's a completely neutral word. It's a very dry word, actually. It simply means no religion. So education can be religious, education can be secular. A book can be religious, a book can be secular. If it's secular, it just has no religion. Even, I would say, no theology in it. Not even no religion, but no theology. So secular means the absence of theology. Secular. Next one. Его традиционные взгляды проистекают из его религиозного воспитания. His traditional views stem from his religious upbringing. So to stem from, perhaps you know that a stem is what, for example, a flower has. A tree has a trunk and a flower has a stem. So if something stems from, it's that idea, like the stem of the flower. The flower's at the top and the thing which connects it to the ground is the stem. Well, here, his views stem from his religious upbringing. To stem. The next one. Он всегда стремится к совершенству. He always strives for perfection. You, he, doesn't really matter. He always strives. When you pronounce that, remember to do a lot of y. Strives for perfection. To strive. Of course, it could be he always aims for perfection. He always targets perfection, but strives for. If you strive for something, it means it's your goal, but you work really, really hard. If you aim for something, it can just be in your mind. But strive, it's you aim and you work at the same time. So striving means aiming plus working hard. Прямо и стремиться, и трудиться. Strive. Hopefully you're striving towards excellent English pronunciation. The next one. Будет интересно посмотреть, как будет развиваться гонка. It will be interesting to see how the race unfolds. So there's the verb to fold, right? Which is сложить. For example, to fold bed linen. For example, after washing the bed linen, I folded it and put it in the cupboard. Of course, you can also unfold something which is folded. You can unfold a piece of paper. But we don't only use it literally, we also use it in the context of an event. So an event can unfold. Как событие развивается. Раскладывается, maybe you can say that in Russian. Как событие разложится. Ooh, I don't know. I'm getting out of my depth in Russian here. But in English, how the event unfolds. Hopefully you get the idea. What other things unfold? We'll do unfold and just before to see what else can unfold. Events unfold, a story unfolds, the drama unfolded, his life unfolded, the scene unfolded, the process unfolded, history unfolded. You get the idea. They're all events, things that happen. Okay. Oh, that's 10. So, press pause, review the words, perhaps try to write some of your own sentences, perhaps open the corpus of contemporary American English. You can search for it in Google. The corpus of contemporary American English, and find some collocations yourself. That's what I'm using for collocations, by the way. I should have probably mentioned that weeks ago, but never mind. I'll make a video about it one day. The main thing is, take a little break, then come back, watch the next part of the lesson. He is an advocate for change. Of course, there's a Russian word, advokat. somebody who works in a court, a kind of lawyer. Now, this role, advocat, in Britain is usually called a barrister. And in America, this person is usually called an attorney. So Russian advocat is a barrister in England and an attorney in America. In some English-speaking countries, some other ones, I think in South Africa, maybe in India, the word advocate is used to talk about lawyers as well. But in Britain and America, it's used less. We talk about barristers and attorneys. But what do? They advocate. They speak in favour of their client. And here we have a sentence with advocate. Они выступают за ужесточение пограничного контроля. They are advocating stricter border controls. So to advocate is to speak in favour of something. It's got this root vok, voice. So you give your voice to something or someone, to advocate. The next one. Ваш язык приводит меня в ужас. Прямо. Your language appalls me. This word appalls isn't used so often as a verb, but the adjective appalling is used more. У этого ребенка просто ужасающее отношение. The child's attitude is appalling. Try again. The child's attitude is appalling. Got it. Appalling. There we go. With an or in the middle. Double or. Appalling. 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 Let's have a look at what other things can be. Appalling. I believe in America the spelling is different. It only has one L. So we'll do it with one L, as this is a corpus of American English. Maybe not. Let's try with two L's. There we go. Two L's. They live in appalling conditions. Appalling, like that. Appalling conditions. His behaviour is appalling. No, I'm struggling with that word. Maybe it can cope with American pronunciation better. He has an appalling record. There we go. It can recognise American appalling better than British appalling. Anyway, never mind. Appalling, прямо ужасающее. Really terrible. The next one. Ядро Земли – это расплавленная твердая порода. Ядро. Core. The Earth's core is molten rock. Core. The core. Long or sound. Core. At its core. В ядре. Ядро. Core. The next one. Это наши основные ценности. These are our core values. We often talk about core values. What else can be core? Let's have a quick look. So only one after. So we get words directly after core. Core values. You can talk about the core curriculum at school, like основная. Core principles, core beliefs, core ideals, the things that are right at the center, right at my core. Let's look at the next one. Дозатор мыла сломан. Дозатор. I don't know that word in Russian. The soap dispenser is broken. So, дозатор is a dispenser. Why? Because it dispenses soap. So if you dispense something, you give it out. Soap dispenser. What else can be dispensed? Let's have a look. Dispense will go before and after. This should give you a sense of the word. You can dispense advice. Give advice. Just like a soap dispenser dispenses soap. You can dispense justice. You know, the courts dispense justice. They give out justice to the people. You can dispense information as well. You know, giving out information. Dispense wisdom. I like that one. Dispense wisdom to the people. I suppose that's what I'm trying to do. Not wisdom, really. I'm trying to dispense knowledge of English on YouTube. To dispense. Now, there's also a quite commonly used adjective, indispensable. Мой личный помощник незаменим. My personal assistant is indispensable. So I can't let go of her. She is indispensable. Actually, I don't have a personal assistant, but sometimes I wish I did. Maybe one day. Maybe by the time you're watching this video in 2027, I will have a personal assistant. Who knows? But as of April 2024, I don't have a personal assistant. So nobody is indispensable to my work. The next one. Вы рискуете усугубить травму. Усугубить. I don't know where the stress is. Усугубить, усугубить, усугубить. But I feel like usugubit sounds good. Anyway, never mind. In English, the word is exacerbate. You risk exacerbating the injury. So to exacerbate is to make things worse. And now we can see some things, which often get exacerbated. Exacerbate. For example, problems. This will exacerbate the problem. It only exacerbated tension. It will exacerbate the crisis. So exacerbate, when something is bad and it becomes worse. To exacerbate. Next, перестань ёрзать. It is ёрзать, isn't it? Stop fidgeting. So, to fidget. Don't fidget. Often, parents say it to children, teachers say it to children. Stop fidgeting. There's a very nice expression, I have to say. When somebody fidgets a lot, when they can't stop fidgeting, we say, he's got ants in his pants. Муравьи в трусах. It's like шило в попе in Russian, I think. Ants in his pants. He can't stop fidgeting. The next one. Многие деревья были повалены во время шторма. Прямо повалены. Many trees were flattened during the storm. So, flat is плоский. You can also flatten something. You can flatten a building. Flatten a forest. Flatten. The next one. Бокс – это выход для его агрессии. Boxing is an outlet for his aggression. You probably know the word outlet in the context of shopping. You can go to the outlet if you want to buy slightly cheaper goods. But outlet's not only about shopping, it's anything which lets something out. So in this case, boxing helps him to let out his aggression. So it's an outlet for his aggression. The next one. Некоторые из ее шуток просто возмутительны. I'm not sure if this is a great translation, but anyway, I'll give you the sentence. Some of her jokes are outrageous. If something's outrageous, then it's quite shocking, like, oh, I can't believe she said that. Outrage, I don't know. She was outraged. That means really, really angry and shocked. So outraged means angry and shocked. However, outrageous, it's perhaps lost the really negative connotation. So you can say, oh, that was outrageous. That was, I don't know. That was an outrageous piece of skill. We could use that to talk about football. A commentator might say that. an outrageous piece of skill. Like it should make us angry, but instead we can only admire it because it's so remarkable. So outraged, that's always negative. Really angry and shocked. But outrageous, like, wow. I can't believe he did that. I know it's wrong, but wow. So it has a kind of positive connotation in some contexts. And the next one, 720. Плотину прорвало, и вода хлипнула вниз по долине. The dam broke and water surged down the valley. So it's to surge. Let's have a look at some other things which surge. Oops. Surge. So a storm surge is when the water level rises significantly during a storm. You get a storm surge. You get a power surge or an energy surge when, for some reason, something goes wrong with the electricity supply and they send too much energy. That will be a power surge. You can see water is here. You can also say prices surged. That means that they increased very quickly and dramatically. To surge. I like this one. I got an adrenaline surge. That will be, in my body, like vroom, adrenaline, vroom, a surge. So that's what a surge is. And that is actually an important moment in the course because that's the last difficult word. There are 180 more words in the course, but all the remaining words are cognates. Now, cognates are words which are similar in Russian and English. And so all the remaining words will already be familiar to you because they're basically the same in Russian and English. Now, I thought about removing these words from the course completely. But in fact, I think that they should be here. Approximately 20% of reasonably frequently used words are cognates in Russian and English. That makes sense because a lot of modern or very contemporary words in Russian just come from English, like internet, online, printer, that kind of thing. And a lot of older words came to Russian from French and came to English from French. And so words which, have mutual French roots are also often similar. So it makes sense that Russian and English have quite a lot of cognates, of similar words. However, I think we can approach cognates differently. We don't really need to learn them because we already know the meaning, but we can work on pronunciation and we can make sure that we know all the different forms of the words. So I decided that they should be in the course, but I decided to put them all at the end. So I hope you're not too disappointed that you're not going to get another 180 new words. But in fact, I think you'll find it interesting to work on the pronunciation of these cognates, which I'm going to talk about in the remainder of the course. So feel free to pause and review the words in this part of the lesson. Please don't go away because I'd like you to give the cognates a go. Try them out and see if you like that part of the lesson as well. All right. See you soon, hopefully. So, cognate number 1. Она очень увлекается легкой атлетикой. If we're talking about atletica, we can use the word athletics. She is very keen on athletics. Of course, when people use these cognates, they often pronounce them wrong because they don't bother to learn how the word is actually pronounced in English. They just know it's nearly the same as Russian and say athletics. Yes, I really like athletics. It's not athletics, it's athletics with a th. So try to do a nice th in your athletics. Thl, thl, thl. That's a very unusual combination, actually. Thl, thl. Athletics. She's an athlete. Она спортсменка. She is very athletic. Она очень спортивная. She loves athletics. She likes легкая атлетика. Кстати, тяжелая атлетика is weightlifting. He is a weightlifter. That's about тяжелая атлетика. Right. Next one. Мы исправили несколько багов в приложении. We fixed a few bugs in the app. Obviously, this is one of the 21st century words, maybe 20th century, which has come to Russian from English. Bugs. A bug, I hope you know, is насекомый. Why do we call problems with technology bugs? I don't know. Pronunciation. Bugs. Try not to say bucks. Buck. Bugs. Bugs. Gz. You need to try to get a gz at the end. It's actually quite difficult. Bugs. Bugs. It's easier if you open your mouth though. Bugs. Gz at the end. Bugs. Bugs in the app. Bugs. Actually, bugged. You can also say, our room was bugged. That's something a bit different. If my room was bugged, it means that people, they were listening. They were listening to me. They had a secret microphone or a secret camera in the room. Our room was bugged. You can also say, something's bugging me. And if something is bugging me, then it's annoying me. It's really it's annoying me. It's bugging me. So there you go. Bugs, bug, but some other uses of bug which are not cognate. So something interesting, I hope. Next. Я купил дюжину яиц. Дюжина is a dozen. I bought a dozen eggs. Now, it's kind of annoying. In Russian, obviously, you don't talk about дюжины. You often talk about десятки. Не знаю, десятки людей. But if you say tens of people, it sounds a bit strange. So if you talk about десятки in Russian, the most logical translation of that is dozens. We talk about dozens. We like 12. We like, crazy units of measurement. Miles, yards, pounds and ounces, all these weird units. In fact, Americans like them even more. Gallons as well. In Britain, we've become a little bit more metric. But on the whole, we still like our crazy units. Miles and yards and feet and all that. And dozens. 12. Next. Prosecco. Это итальянский эквивалент шампанского. Equivalent is an equivalent. Prosecco is the Italian equivalent of champagne. We actually have a rule about champagne. You can only call sparkling wine, игристое вино, champagne if it comes from Champagne, which is a region of France. If it's not from Champagne, it's not champagne. So your шампанское на Новый год, it's probably not champagne. Maybe some people do have Moet and Chandon from Champagne, but most people drink, something from the south of Russia, from the Caucasus, Kafkaz. And in that case, it's not champagne. It's sparkling wine. Champagne is from Champagne, but actually, this sentence is not about champagne, шампанское. It's about equivalent with a nice w. Equivalent. And to get the w, remember, you need to lower your jaw. If you don't lower your jaw, equivalent. It doesn't sound right. Equivalent. Equivalent of champagne. W. Next. Миллионы были потрачены на инфраструктуру для Олимпийских игр. Инфраструктура. Millions were spent on infrastructure for the Olympics. Infrastructure. It's a difficult word because of all the rut sounds. Infrastructure. 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 Infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. I can't do it. Infrastructure. It's really hard. Try to say infrastructure 5 times. Infrastructure. That's hard. Infrastructure. The tongue really has to work to get that out. Infrastructure. Infrastruktura. It's easier with Russian re, I think. Infrastructure is difficult in English. Try repeating it. Infrastructure. Okay, the next one. Он выполнил свою миссию. Миссия is a mission. He fulfilled his mission. We can say, mission accomplished. He fulfilled it. His mission was accomplished. Misia, a mission. Long m, short e. Mission. Mission. There's also the word missionary. Many European missionaries went to Africa. Missionieri. Missionaries. Next. Во время Второй мировой войны Япония оккупировала значительную часть Китая. The word here is оккупировала, occupied. During the Second World War, Japan occupied a large part of China. Occupied. So the stress is on the at the beginning, but it's a clipped because it comes before an unvoiced k. Occupied. Pause. Occupied. Occupied a large part of China. To occupy. Occupy. Make sure you get the pause. Don't say occupy. Occupied. And then the k is really short. Occupy. Occupied. Occupation. Occupation. She lived under German occupation for 2 years. Occupy, occupation. Next one. Это продукт премиум класса. Premium. This is a premium product. When you say premium, make sure you pronounce it with an E. It's not premium, it's lots of y before the unvoiced m. Premium. I would even say it like that. Premium. Premium product. What else can be premium? Let's have a look. Premium. We can offer a premium price. We offer premium support. I bought premium membership. You get access to premium content. Premium. Premium. Next. Они отвергли эту историю как чистую пропаганду. Propaganda is propaganda. They dismissed the story as pure propaganda. Propaganda. Yeah, the stress. There's a secondary stress on the pro and a primary stress on the ga. Propaganda. How do we mark the stress on the a? With a little pause. Propaganda. Propaganda. It's propaganda. And we make the n long as well. Ganda. Propaganda. It was for propagandistic purposes. Propagandistic. Then the stress moves onto the I. Propaganda, propagandistic. Propaganda, propagandistic. And the last one in this part of the lesson. Не двигайтесь, пока я не подам сигнал. Signal. Do not move until I give the signal. So a signal. The stress is on the first syllable, signal. So you need to make the s long. Signal. It's not signal, it's sig. Look at me open my mouth. Signal. Until I give the signal. Signal is also a verb. You can signal to somebody. He signaled that he was all right. Not signed. Try again. He signaled that he was okay. Try again. He signaled. I can't do it. It doesn't work. Never mind. Signaled. See if you can make your computer type the word signaled. I can't do it. But to signal is also a verb. Okay. That's the end of that part of the lesson. Take a break or you could keep watching because you don't really need to learn these words. But you do need to repeat them a few times. It's good practice for your pronunciation. All right, part 4 of the lesson. Ty wyglądasz jak angel. Angel is an angel. You look like an angel. Angel. We kind of hold the n. Angel. Angel. Actually, it's quite an interesting word because very often we hold a n before a d. And not so often. Well, angel is before a d because the j sound is actually dj. So it kind of makes sense. Angel. 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 There's a famous song about angels from Robbie Williams. I'm loving angels instead. Angels in angels. There, angels. Angels instead. Angels. Don't mix it up with angles. Angles, that is something else. Angles are corners. That's an angle. Angle. We're talking about angels here. Angels. And у него ангельское личико. He has an angelic face. So angel, angelic. Angel, angelic. Like we're talking about Angelica, the name. Angelica, Angelica, angel. All right, the next one. Зрители аплодировали более 5 минут. Аплодировать, to applaud. The audience applauded for more than 5 minutes. To applaud. Remember, it's a double o. Applaud. In American English, a double a. Applaud, applaud. Plaud, plaud. Applauded for more than 5 minutes. Applauded. And the noun is applause. Он подождал, пока стихнут аплодисменты. He waited for the applause to die down. Make sure you get this double sound. Or, the applause. Or American English, the applause. 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 For the applause to die down. Nice phrase as well. Давайте поаплодируем. Let's have a round of applause. A round of applause. Next one. Я работаю в элитной школе. Элитной is elite. I work in an elite school. Elite. Now here we have the E sound, but it's really short. It's clipped because it comes before an unvoiced T. Elite. 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 There's not a lot of voice in that vowel sound. Elite. In an elite school. What else is often elite? Let's have a look. Elite athletes. that athlete word again. Elite athletes. An elite group, an elite level, elite schools, elite status, elite squad, elite squad. Can you hear there's a pause between the vowel? Elite, elite, pause, elite athletes, elite group, elite level, elite schools. Actually, in elite group, elite level, I do a glottal stop because I have a T before a consonant. Elite group, elite level, elite schools, elite status. But when I say elite schools, I kind of do a schools, elite schools, elite status, elite squad. You can hear the t, but it's connected to the s. So, elite, 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 with a glottal stop. Next. Прошлой зимой была эпидемия гриппа. Epidemia. I'm not sure. This is what happens, you see. When a word seems familiar, because it's the same in English and Russian, we don't pay attention to it, and then we don't remember it properly. So that's what we're doing this for, to make sure that you really do know the words that you think you know. There was a flu epidemic last winter. So it's an epidemic. And the study of epidemics is called epidemiology. Epidemiologists do epidemiology. And I like those words because they're really, really long. Epidemiologists, epidemiology. You can practice pronouncing the unstressed syllables really fast. Epidemiologists do epidemiology. Epidemiologists. All right. During the COVID pandemic, we talked a lot about epidemiology, and epidemiologists suddenly became superstars. Next. Я думаю, это действительно инновационное устройство. Инновационное, innovative. I think it is a really innovative device. Innovative. Stress on the I. Innovative. But if it's a noun, innovation. Stresses on the A. Правительство вложило много денег в инновации. The government has invested a lot of money in innovation. Of course, if I do connected speech, in innovation, like it's one word, in innovation. Invested a lot of money in innovation, в инновации. So, innovative, innovation. Innovative, innovation. Next. Я нарядился монстром для вечеринки. Monster is a monster. I dressed up as a monster for the party. Monster. When you say monster, try to make the m long and then the un really short because it comes before an unvoiced s. Monster. Not monster, but monster. A monster for the party. There's also the adjective monstrous. It's monstrous. How would that be translated? I don't know if there's an adjective from monster in Russian. Чудовищно. Yeah, чудовищно. It's monstrous. Monster, monstrous. All right, the next one. У нее нет морали. Морали, morals. She has no morals. Cool. I was waiting for a word with O-R-A in it because sometimes O-R-A can be or. Maybe not O-R-A, but O-R. Like, for example, floral, or. And when we have O-R followed by a consonant, like morning, it's always a long or. Floral, morning. But morals, it's a short O. Moral. Morning, moral. It's a different vowel. Morning, moral. So don't say morals, morals. Don't say immoral, immoral. Immoral. What happens is we open our mouth, immo, then we raise the tip of our tongue to say r. Immoral. 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 It's the same with, I don't know, horrible and horn. So horn is the or sound, or, but horrible is the open sound. Horrible. Horn, horrible. Morning, moral. I hope you get the idea. It's the same in fort and forest. Fort is the or, but forest is the Fort, forest. Okay. There's a pronunciation lesson for you. Whew. Next. У нас высокие моральные устои. Ustoy. That's a word that's not in my Russian vocabulary. We have the moral high ground. Again, this word moral. Moral. Quite difficult to pronounce. Moral. Next. Нарисуйте две параллельные линии. Параллельные is parallel. Draw two parallel lines. Draw two parallel. Parallel. Stress on the pa. Parallel lines. Two parallel lines. So we get a little pause before the pa. Parallel. Parallel lines. Next. Я думаю, они шпионят за нами. Шпионят. I think they are spying on us. On us? What? I think they are spying on us. Sometimes voice typing doesn't like my connected speech. What? The house? No. I think they are spying on us. Wow, it turned out that was a difficult sentence. Surprising. Anyway, шпионить, to spy, шпион, a spy, spy. A nice long s, spy, spy. And when it's p, we actually say s, little pause, by, spy, by, by, spy, spy, spying. And the next one, завтра. Я встречаюсь с своим психотерапевтом. I'm meeting my therapist tomorrow. Not a therapist, but therapist. Make sure you get a good therapist. Therapist tomorrow. You can make the a bit longer as well. Therapist. Just hold it to make sure you get a perfect with the sides of your tongue between your teeth. Therapist. My therapist. My therapist. That's if your mouth allows it. I know not everybody can bite their tongue like I can, but try it. It may work for you. Therapist. And я лечусь у психотерапевта уже 5 лет. I've been in therapy for 5 years. In general, a therapist and therapy in English is about psychoterapia and psychoterapeut. I know in Russian there's also the word terapeut. But a terapeut in a polyclinic is in British English a GP, a general practitioner. Actually, both of my parents were GPs, like terapeuti, although the system is a little bit different because GPs in Britain have more responsibilities, I think, than terapeuti in a Russian polyclinic, because in the Russian system there are lots of specialists in the clinic, whereas in a British GP practice there aren't any other specialists. There are no dermatologists, there are no cardiologists, there are no hematologists, only GPs. So they perhaps need to know a little bit more because they can't just send the patient to a specialist. Anyway, terapeut is a GP, general practitioner. A therapist is usually psychoterapeut. There are also physiotherapists. Physioterapeut, I guess, in Russian. Physiotherapy. Oh, that's 10. Yeah, that's 10. So press pause if you like, take a break, or just keep going. And you know what? I'm going to keep going because there are only 10 words left to do. Она является донором крови. Donor is a donor. She is a blood donor. A donor. And we can talk about donations. We got a lot of donations. Donati. I said we. My computer wrote you. Never mind. He donated a lot of money. So the verb is to donate. The person is a donor. You get donations. So donate, donations. The stress on the A. Donor. The stress on the O. Donor. And actually donor in English is the one that sounds like donuts. Donati. Donuts. Donuts. Donor. Next. Этот остров необитаем. Now this isn't exactly a cognate, but there is a common root, I think. This island is uninhabited. Not, yes, uninhabited. It's uninhabited. I like this sentence. We lived on an uninhabited island. No, it didn't cope. Let's try it slowly. We lived on an uninhabited island. Got it. So you get on an unin. All in a row. On an unin. On an unin. On an uninhabited island. We lived on an uninhabited island. You try it. Let's try again. We lived on an uninhabited island. Oh, nearly. It did that instead of an, but nearly got it. Anyway, uninhabited, необитаемый. Обитать, habit, you can see that there's a common root there. An uninhabited island. The people who live somewhere are called inhabitants. The inhabitants of the town were evacuated. So, inhabitants. Жители are inhabitants. Inhabitants who inhabit a town. Next. Pelé был легендарным футболистом. Pelé was a legendary footballer. Legendary. Legend. Legenda. Legend. Don't say legend. Legend. Stress is on the first syllable, which means we do a long L. Legend. A legendary footballer. Legendary. Legend. Next. I can't... я не могу мотивировать себя на то, чтобы привести себя в форму. Мотивировать, motivate. I can't motivate myself to get fit. I can't motivate myself. Мне не хватает мотивации. Здесь к учебе. I lack motivation to study. So, to motivate, on the first syllable, motivate. Remember to put a w in there. Motivate. But motivation. Motivation on the A. Motivate on the mo. Motivation on the A. Motivate. Motivation. Motivate. Motivation. Motivation. Next. Каков был ее мотив? Also the same root. What was her motive? Motive. Motive. Long ma. Motive. Motive. Next. Раньше я играл в оркестре. Оркестр is an orchestra. I used to play in an orchestra. Orchestra. At the end we got a T-R-A. Remember T-R is pronounced ch, tr, tr. So you get the same sound you get in truck. Truck, tr, tr, tr. orchestra, orchestra. I played in an orchestra, orchestra. The next one. Для меня было честью работать здесь в течение 10 лет. Oh, here we have the word честь. It could also be привилегией. Было привилегией. Было честью. It has been a privilege to work here during the last 10 years. A privilege. Privilege. It's one of these words with PR. When it's a PR word, try to add a lot of air between the p and the r. Privilege. Blow. Privilege. It's been a privilege to work here. A privilege. A real privilege. С большими привилегиями приходит большая ответственность. With great privilege comes great responsibility. Privilege. And privileged can also be used as an adjective. So let's see what often comes after privileged. You can say, I am in a privileged position. I wonder if that's translated as привилегированный or something. Я нахожусь в привилегированном положении. Yeah, I thought so. A privileged position. He has privileged status, for example. He's from a privileged class. Class in this case is like social class, not a class in a school. That would be a bit strange in this context. So privilege, privileged. The next one. Заполните эту форму, чтобы зарегистрировать свой товарный знак. Зарегистрировать, to register. Fill in this form to register your trademark. Register. On the first syllable, the stress. Re, 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 make the re long. Register. Registracja is, of course, registration. Registration will be at 9 a.m. Registration. So register, it's on the first syllable. Register. Registration on the third syllable. Register. Registration. Register. Registration. The next one. Francja. Republika. France is a republic. A republic. How do we put the stress on the second syllable? By doing a pause before the p. Republic. A republic. Republic. Pause in the p position. Republic. The Republic of France. What's the country called? The Democratic Republic of Congo. The People's Republic of China. Etc. Republic. Republic. The GDR. The German Democratic Republic. Republic. There we go. Next. На вершине холма есть руины. Руины. Ruins. There are ruins on top of the hill. It's interesting. In Russian, you can combine vowels without adding an extra sound. Ruin, uini, uini. We can't do that in English anymore. We used to be able to, actually. Now we can't. So we connect the sounds with a w. Ruins. So you end up with ru and then wins. Ruins. Ruins. There are ruins on top of the hill. Ruins. Ruins. And the last word in today's lesson. Это визуально потрясающий дизайн, но он может быть конструктивно небезопасен. Visuально, visually. It's a visually stunning design, but it may be structurally unsafe. Visually stunning, structurally unsafe. Visually. Just be careful because it's visuально. Sometimes people want to say visual. You don't need to. Visually. Visually. Forget about the UA. It's just an visually. visually. And do a long V at the beginning to mark the stress. Visually. Visually stunning. Visually. I should write it like that, shouldn't I? Visually. Visually stunning. That's it for this lesson. I actually really enjoy talking about pronunciation, as you've probably noticed, and I hope that you've enjoyed this part of the lesson too, with a greater focus on pronunciation because the words are so familiar. So with that in mind, I hope it's not too disappointing that the last 170 words in the course won't be new ones for you, but hopefully you will find some nice tips for your pronunciation, and we'll make sure that you actually are pronouncing these words which you think you know correctly. All right, see you soon for the next lesson. Bye-bye.